Good evening, everybody. I'm at Bury Pomeroy Castle. Well, I'm actually at the bottom of the castle, down in the Gatacombe Valley, on November the 28th, 2020. Just down here on my own tonight. I think because of the lockdown restrictions, people aren't sort of going out really, are they, at the moment? It's really atmospheric down here, I have to say. Got a full moon as well, so you couldn't really ask us for any better, could you, really? So I'm at the bottom of the castle, right at the Gatacombe Valley, and I'm going to probably head to the meal house, because not a lot of people know that it's not just the actual castle itself that's haunted, it's the whole area. There are numerous ghost stories associated with it, and especially down the lane down by the mill house and the mill house itself. It might be a bit difficult to do a lot of filming around that house itself, because obviously people live in there, and it's private property, but I'm just going to have a little wander around here and see where it takes us. So this is the actual stream, as you can see down there. So I'm just going to go down here. So have a walk down this road. It's actually quite good to explore, you know, the Gatacombe Valley, because it doesn't get explored very often. It's just mainly the castle. You know, people just associate it with just the castle, but in actual fact, it is haunted down here as well. There are a few ghost stories that I know, and time slips as well that have happened down here. Not actually where I'm at the moment, but the area where I'm going to be going to. Just carry on walking down here. Oh, it's just a really eerie atmospheric night down here, actually. Quite a few wood pigeons actually nesting in the trees, hence why there is a lot of noises. You have to be a bit careful down here. There seems to be quite a few motorists that have been coming down here for the last few minutes. I actually don't come down here that often. I mean, down the valley below, I've not been down here that many times. I've been down here a few times in the past, but I don't really come down here very often. But it's nice to sort of do it, you know, it's nice to be down here and then sort of explore a little bit and then work my way up to the castle. As you can see, there's a lot of rain down here actually. So there's a lot of potholes down here and very muddy. Right, we're actually down below the castle now in the Gatacombe Valley. It's actually it's actually very atmospheric down here tonight, in truth. There's some people actually have just travelled along the laneway, and they're going up to the castle themselves. So. Let's carry on walking. I knew there was probably going to be people that are going to be travelling to Bury Pomeroy tonight, because usually are on a Saturday, and you know, as it's not raining either, people will come out, you know, because recently it's been quite active, the castle. So, and because I run the Bury Pomeroy Castle Ghosts and Spirits page on Facebook, there's been a lot of sort of new sightings, and people have been posting about their experiences, and photographs been posted on the page. So people have taken a lot more interest in the castle. I mean, they always were interested in it, but recently it's been quite active, so there's been a lot more interest. There's the stream there. There was actually a recent story about somebody, a local medium, that was actually down here during the day, and they walked along the lane and they did see a spirit over here. Sort of along this, just trying to shine the torch there, along this grass verge here, they actually did see a lady, a woman, in a Elizabethan sort of type dress, a youngish woman, and there was a story surrounding her, where she, I think back in the 17th century, she actually fell in that stream and she drowned and died. and her spirit is still lingering here. But from what I'm hearing of it, she's not unhappy or anything like that, but she used to live at the castle, and she does have a connection obviously with it still, and also she used to love taking country walks down the valley, they used to do that a lot, obviously back in the day. So she's not stuck or anything like that. She's been here many centuries, but she comes on visitations, and she has been seen along here, and fairly recently as well. I do excuse the breath that's probably appearing on the camera. It's actually quite cold here tonight, so there's the moon. I don't think I could have picked a more perfect night, actually. As long as it doesn't rain, I don't mind. So I'm just going to walk further down here. Because as I said earlier, this area doesn't get explored that much. I mean, the actual ghost stories themselves are not as prominent as they are at the castle. But there are ghost stories down here, and there are people that have experienced things down here. I'm actually going to try and zoom in a little bit. There's some ducks over there as well. See if I can. Very hard to really see them in the dark, actually. Just about to see them. Not really. You probably can just make out two white. There you go. There they are. Well, I'm actually coming up to the castle from the bottom of the valley. Just be a bit careful down there because it's quite slippery. Here, there was a ghost story associated with this area quite a few years ago, along here. Because as you can see, there's the streamlet. There used to be like a little bridge, like a little footbridge that used to go from here to there, and there used to be like a little old lady, a spirit of a little old lady that was seen. She was around about 5'4", wearing the old traditional medieval dresses of the time, and she was wearing like a navy dress with a hat, like a large hat. And she used to be seen here. I think she has still been experienced, but I think she was more. I think she had been. There was more sightings of her, I think, back in the sort of the 80s and the sort of the early 90s. But from what I'm hearing of it, she is still seen here from time to time. So it's just here where I'm flashing the torch. I'm not going to go too far. I'm just going to. Because it really is sludgy and wet and damp down there. Right, okay, let's just move down here a bit further. Yeah, this is the Gatacombe Valley down here. So now, I'm just going to point the torch. You can just about see the castle. It's quite foggy tonight and quite misty, so you can just about make it out. Just about. It's not great, but I'm going to try and zoom in a bit. Yeah, because it's quite misty tonight. It's quite cloudy and it's very hard to make out. If it was a clearer night, you definitely would see it a lot more. There you go. It's a little bit better. It's not, yeah, because it's not great image because of the weather conditions. It doesn't help when you've got a lot of breath either. I'm going to try and hold my breath in for a few minutes. You might be able to see it. There you go. It's actually quite good. I mean, the conditions are not too bad. It's just that it's very cloudy, quite misty tonight, and you've got the moon up there as well. Look. There have been sightings actually when people have actually come walking down here, either with their dogs or with their partners. They've actually seen. You've got the windows up there. They've actually seen a figure, okay, standing at one of those windows. I think it was the top window, and they've seen what appears to be candlelight. You know, they don't know if it's male or female, but they think it's obviously a female, because when they've actually seen it, when they've looked at it, it does appear to be a woman's face. But they have actually seen a woman standing at the one of the windows up there. What appears to be a candlelight, and obviously it's a ruin, the castle. So there's no one up there. There's nobody that could possibly be there because there's no floor. And that's happened quite a lot. Doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen. Because you sort of, you look at it and you think, well, it certainly looks like candlelight. Because people that have seen her, I said that it appears to be candlelight, like she's holding a candle. It probably isn't the White Lady, I don't know, but there are more spirits there than just the White Lady. So I think people can't always assume that it is the White Lady, because there are more than, there's more spirits there than just one. So it could be many spirits that have lived here for many generations. Along here, there's been a black figure walking along here in a black medieval type dress and a black hat. It's been female, and she's been seen walking along here. There have been people that she appears so solid that people have just thought that it was just a person just taking a stroll. But what they found uncanny was that she was dressed in the old clothing of the day. But the story is that when she approaches you, or when you pass her, or when you're actually near her, she vanishes. She vanishes apparently. So, but it's actually along this laneway. I'm not sure what part, but it's along here because the laneway is quite long. It's quite a long sort of lane. So we don't know what area, but she has been seen walking along there. Well, that's a bit better, isn't it? You can see the castle now. As I was saying, yeah, it's one of those top windows is where the female spirit has been seen holding what looks like a candle, or candlelight. Because you can imagine you're standing here in the dark and you're looking up at that window, you would definitely see a candlelight, or you would definitely see a light. Obviously it's not going to be someone up there flashing a torch down, so it definitely would be candlelight of the day. So just going to walk down a bit further. Yeah, so there has been a woman in a black dress that has been seen down here, and I think she's the same spirit that's been seen at the castle along the Rampart Walk, because there is a woman that has been seen standing by the gatehouse door. I'm not talking about the black iron gate, but the actual door itself, which actually takes you inside. She's been seen there during the day, usually sort of late in the afternoon, and she's been seen standing there. She's very much aware of people, dressed in a black dress, a black hat, and a ruffle round her neck, and very sort of stoic, very sort of serious looking. There you go. Try and zoom in a bit more there. That's the castle from the Gatacombe Valley. It actually looks quite cool, doesn't it, with the moon? Got a couple of tawny owls. You can hear them in the background. Well, I'm just going to walk further towards the mill house. Now, there is a story I've heard recently. There's actually quite a few stories associated with the mill house, but there was a member of the Bury Pomeroy Castle Ghosts and Spirits page that had an encounter with two spirits down here fairly recently, which was past the mill house towards the gate, and she saw what looked like a mother and daughter, and basically as she approached them, they vanished. She actually thought that they were real people, but as I was saying, because of the way they were dressed, was obviously sort of taken back by it, because obviously they were dressing in the clothing of the time, so that would, to anybody would look a bit odd, and they just sort of phased out and vanished in front of her. I'm just going to actually look at the castle again. There you go. There you go. It's a better shot there with the moon. See the moon sort of shining down at the castle. Zoom in a little bit. Yeah, the thing is that when I was just talking to you about the mill house, there are people living in there, so I won't be able to go too far with regards to getting around the back. I don't think I'll be able to do that, because there's people that live there. I have done it before, where I've gone around the back of the mill house, and there's like a little small little wall and a stream, and there's supposed to be a spirit girl that sits on the wall, dressed in old rags, with a piece of string attached around the waist, which is used as a belt, and with jet black unkempt hair, and looks very sort of hostile looking. So basically people have seen her when they've walked up there, and she's basically been quite hostile, the way she sort of stares at you, very sort of intense, and gives you that kind of look to say to you, you're not, what you're doing here, or you're not supposed to be here. People that have walked their dogs have actually seen her, and seen her quite recently as well. But while one will see a spirit or a ghost, other people may not. Sometimes there's a lot of factors that is the reason why, but not everybody sees them. There you go. Right, I'm just going to move a bit further down here. As I say, there is a lot of factors involved in it. Some people are not open to it, some people are just not sensitive, or some people can be negative, meaning like they're negative in thought, or they don't believe. And it could be anything, and it's all to do with your mental state as well. There's a lot of factors in it, really, why some people see them and other people don't. Funny enough, I've been coming down to Bury Pomeroy Castle since 1996, and I've never seen a ghost or anything there, but I've always sensed and felt things and heard things, and I know other people have genuinely seen, ghosts and spirits, and they've had some really strange experiences. The funny thing is, because I've been coming down here since 1996, I've had experiences, but I've never seen nothing. But I did 2 months ago, where I saw an apparition at the bottom of the driveway at the castle. It was strange. I saw it for about 2 seconds before it sort of faded away. It was quite an eerie, surreal experience, but it was like a white, bright mist, but it was in the shape of a person, so when you looked at it, you could see the shape of a person. And I'll tell you what, there's a guy called Jack Hazard that took a photograph in 1985 or 1986, I think it was 1986, at the castle near Margaret's Tower from the outside, and he took a succession of photographs and captured a bright white mist, and it was very similar to that. It was like a shape of a person, but I only saw it for like 2 seconds, and I've been told that when you do see them, you don't see them for very long. It's usually within a few seconds, because it takes a lot of energy for them to manifest, and they don't always manifest. It's very rare for them to manifest, because number one, they don't want to frighten you, really, and number two, it's usually because it usually requires a lot of energy. Now, I think the reason why I saw that, my belief is that because that evening there was a lot of people at the castle. There was at least about 30 odd people that had come down from my page, Bury Pomeroy Castle Ghosts and Spirits page on Facebook, and I think because they had left and I had stayed there on my own from midnight till 1:45 in the morning, and I think that the energy that they would have left at that castle probably would have been enough energy for the spirit to actually show itself. Right, as you can see in the background, you can actually see, I'm just going to turn the torch down a little bit, the mill house. As I say, there are people living there, so I don't feel comfortable by going around the back. I don't think you're not supposed to do that, because basically behind the mill house is I don't think it's I don't think you're allowed to actually walk behind it, where the small wall is, where the spirit girl has been seen sitting on the wall. But I have done it in the past, but I think when I done it in the past, it was when no one was living there. There it is, the mill house. Can't see much of it in the dark, but it's actually it is very atmospheric down there, I have to admit tonight. It does feel it. But you have to remember there's so much history here, you know. It's more than understandable why it would be atmospheric. There is a story of a woman from Exeter that came down here, and she did see this spirit girl over here by the just outside the house. That was back in 2017 that she did actually see her. There was a sighting of her here. Shut the dog off now. I don't know, those dogs must be eating potato waffles tonight, I think. Yeah, those dogs that were barking were dogs that live at that mill house, you know, obviously. So it's difficult to get in there probably tonight because, for obvious reasons. It would be, I think it would be trespassing somewhat. But there is, as I say, you just go along the driveway and you just go behind. See where that car is? You just go behind that to the right. And that takes you to the actual mill house itself, and that's where the spirit girl's been seen. Now I think it's here where this member of the page, the Berry Pomeroy Ghosts and Spirits page, saw the two apparitions. I think it was actually here by the gate where they did see the apparitions here.